Thanks for joining me in the garden today. Today we're going to be planting some seeds for our root vegetables. We're going to be spreading some grass clippings that I use for mulch. And I'm just going to show you some of the things that I do in early spring and how I get my garden going. So here we go. Right now I've got some beans that have started coming up, and I'm going to be putting some grass clippings around those. So I've got my beans right there along the right, and you can see I'm starting to put some fresh grass clippings that my husband just mowed the lawn with. And the grass clippings have no, nothing to kill weeds, no weed and feed or anything like that at this point. So I try to use these early in the spring. Grass clippings make such a great mulch. As you can see, the clippings right next to the ones where I'm putting down the green ones, you can see the ones around the tomatoes have turned brown. And they're just amazing. I mean, when they're green, there's all kinds of nitrogen that's coming down into your soil. And as they start to brown up, they make a great weed barrier, and they also keep moisture in your soil. So I like planting beans right along the edge of my garden. These are actually pole beans, and I've got a trellis right there. You can see it to the right of the beans, and it is amazing. These pole beans will completely grow up over this trellis, and it'll make it so easy not only to pick the beans, but it'll keep pests and things away from the ground where the beans are growing. So as I see different areas around the tomatoes where maybe I didn't have enough grass clippings a couple weeks ago to put those down, I'm going to kind of fill those in and just try to get everything really put together nice. But this is just a great free resource. If you are trimming your grass every week or every couple weeks, this is a great way to go in and mulch and keep pests away and keep, all kinds of moisture in your soil. So this area right here, this actually is my root bed. And I'm going to be planting some cilantro and a couple of flowers along the middle, but I'm going to be putting some cilantro in this area right here. I kind of like it concentrated so that it pollinates and does really well. This is a rhubarb that came up. I was very happy to see it. I am going to put some cilantro here because it will take a while for the rhubarb to start growing. I'm going to put a little bit of it right here. So all I'm going to do is just plant some little holes. I think I'll do like 3 in a row here on the end. I don't care that there's a couple of seeds that have come up in each one of these, because the herbs are going to really kind of grow together. They're going to come out really nice. So you don't have to worry. They've all come up. And make this hole a little deeper. And like I said, I just plant the little box in with it and just put the dirt right around it. Get some moist soil. Just like that. It's really easy. I kind of like to give some of my herbs a start, and then I put the seeds directly in the garden. So I do both. So I am going to make a little row here, and I'm going to plant some cilantro here. Do one here, and I'm going to do one here. As we'll put down here, this is cilantro, so we know. So about maybe 3 inches apart, just like this. Now the cilantro is an herb that actually will kind of die back as soon as it gets hot. It won't keep growing in the heat. So this is a good one to plant in this time of the year, because it'll really take off and do well. And then you can dehydrate it. You can do all kinds of things. And I put the dirt right up around that little, peat moss box that I have. So one of the things I like to do is put a nice little pole down just so I can see a nice straight line. And all I'm going to do is just, run my trowel along here. And I just want to get some nice lines that I'm going to. So what I'm going to plant along this little bed right here are my beets. I love beets. I love pickled beets. I love all kinds of beets. So these are just a Detroit dark red. I actually got these for 10 cents a package when I was back visiting my son in Minnesota. So we're going to go ahead and put these in. And always look at the back of your paper. It kind of tells you how deep and how many days to maturity, everything. So what I'm going to do is just take all the seeds, and then I'm going to just put them along this line. Here I'm gonna make it a little bit deeper along the edge. All right. So all I'm gonna do is put them in about every inch or two. I can definitely thin these out after they get going. And I'm going to show you after I do one of these rows how I cover them up. And I always have really good success planting seeds. I know some people don't, but I think if your soil's in good shape, if you've put the fertilizers in and all those different things, you're going to have good success with your root vegetables. All right, so all we're going to do is just take a little bit of the soil and just put it right over it. We only want these about 1/2 inch covered, just like this. Now these will come up fast. In about a week, we'll have little tiny plants coming through here. They're going to look really cute. And I've read different schools of thought. If you plant them really close together, a lot of times they'll grow outward. So I think beets are one of those things you don't have to worry about having them too close. First of all, you can always thin them. And second of all, they're very easy to grow. So I'm going to finish these rows of beets and then we'll start on the carrots. So the next thing we're going to do is plant our carrots. And to do that, I have kind of a good little technique that works so that they sprout really good, they come up, but you do have to keep an eye on them because this really won't work if you leave it and they'll all just die. I'm going to move this watering over just a hair because I see this isn't watering quite enough for my carrots. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of 2x4 and all I'm going to do is just put it into this ground about 1/4 inch, very, very small amount, just like this. Just like this. And so for my carrots, I want to go along here. Let's get a little bit more of this dirt. Just get it nice and just like this. All right. Then we're going to kind of even this out a little bit. We want this nice and even. We're going to take another row right next to our dahlia. It's fine. And we're just going to go about 1/4 inch. Another one, we're going to go about 1/4 inch. Now, I use a lot of carrots, so I'm going to do quite a few of these rows. So this is how we're going to plant our carrots. We're going to take our carrots in these little areas that we put these 2x4s. We're going to take our carrots, and same thing, I'm just going to pour them out on my hand. I know there's a lot of ways to do this. This is how I do it. And I'm just going to sprinkle them generously along this little area that I just went over with the 2x4. There should be enough in a package for 1 row of carrots. Now, if you've ever seen carrots grow, I mean, they just kind of grow everywhere. And what we're going to do is we're not going to cover them with a lot of soil. We're only going to take a little tiny bit, a little tiny bit. We're talking like a couple tablespoons. We're just going to go over the top. That's it. That's it. Couple tablespoons. Then we're going to take our 2x4 and we're going to put it right back on top of our carrots. And we're going to check that every morning, and we're going to put a little bit of water on it. Now our sprinklers will water around it, which is exactly what we need. These will stay nice and moist under here. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to go through and put a package of carrots in each one of these little areas that we pulled out. So in this area right here, we're going to be doing a little bit of herbs. And I'm going to go ahead and start with some lavage. Now this is really an amazing herb. It is very similar to the taste of celery, and so I'm just going to show you how I put this in. All I do is kind of rake this up so that it's nice and loose. And this lavage, we're going to just throw our seeds down. We're not going to need to use them all, but we're going to need to use some of them. So what we're going to do now is just take our little rake thing here, and we're just going to lightly go over the seeds. Very lightly. We just want them like maybe 1/4 of an inch into the ground. Not very much. Some of them aren't even going to go in the ground. So this is kind of the look that we're trying to achieve with our herb seeds. So I'm going to work on the other side. About a week and a half ago, I planted some garlic. I'm going to go right up to the garlic, and I'm going to do the rest of my basils and a couple other herbs. So this area right here, I'm going to do my elephant dill, and I decided I'm going to mix some of my regular dill, my bouquet dill, throughout my cucumbers. I've already grown some of this in my AeroGarden. It's really nice. And I dehydrated quite a bit of it. I always just like to make sure that I have plenty of herbs, especially something like dill, because I do like making a lot of pickles throughout the year. And so the last thing that I want to do is go along the bottom of my tomatoes, because I do have a little bit of, I think it's not frost, but the weather here in California has been really hot and cold. I just want to trim off any of these little dead branches. I'm hoping this will come back. This is a little black strawberry tomato. It looks like it is. Looks like there's new little things coming up. And then I want to go ahead and put some more grass clippings. Look for any weeds and put some more grass clippings along the bottom of my garden area here. All right, that takes care of the low hanging ones. All right, I'm going to throw these in the trash. We don't want them here in our garden. And then we're going to go along and just put our grass clippings around them. Thanks for joining me today. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or share this video with someone you think might be interested in some gardening. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.